welcome everyone. So is everyone that's here were you all here last week? No, I don't think so.
No, Wendy, I listened to your recordings from
Oh,
last
you
week.
did? Okay. So welcome,
Thank you.
Lakme.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Okay. Are you in America?
No, I'm in Bangalore, India.
Wow. Thank you for coming. Oh,
Thank you very much.
are you Shrey's friend?
Sorry?
No, you're not Shrey's friend. I thought you might have been Shrey's friend. We have a um one person that comes here. He's an academic, but he's in Australia, but he lives in India. And then he bought one of his friends once, and I was wondering if that was you.
No,
I
no,
couldn't
no.
remember. Okay, anyway, welcome. Welcome
Thank you
all the
very
way from Bangalore. That's fantastic.
much.
And so we're up to the second class. So this class, we're looking at introspection. We'll talk a little bit about distractions and we'll do some meditation. And I'm probably going to close the class 5 minutes to the end because I have to eat dinner before the Vajrasattva meditation tonight, which I only have half an hour to do that. So I'm going to close just 5 minutes early if you guys are okay with that. And welcome Anthony and Robbie and David and Nim and Afisha in Bali and Mary Jo. Okay. So let's just start by settling into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Seems to be how I start every single meditation. And just bring, hang on one sec, sorry, before I just want to, just bring your attention down to the soles of your feet and, feel the texture of your foot, the weight, the temperature. And feel the sensation of the backs of the legs on your chair, unless you're sitting cross-legged, in which case you'll be feeling your feet underneath your legs. And then just see if you can allow the weight of your pelvis to just be released into the chair, into the cushion in the chair. So you might feel the sensation of the weight of the hands in your lap. So they can either be just facing down or in the regular meditation mudra, which is the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. So align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders as best you can. This one is quite important because as our head's very heavy, and as we get older, all the muscles, we get a little bit weaker, so everything starts to kind of collapse. So we need to constantly remind ourselves to sit up. Stand at my chiropractor's office. She has these little wristbands that says stand tall. But there's this kind of like as we get older and life gets to us, we tend to sort of go like this. And if you can keep your chin a little bit up, so it's not too high, just put some length in the back of the neck. If your chin is too high, it creates agitation because you're creating a, blockage in the back of the head there, where the occipital bone sort of meets the top of the vertebrae. So just try and keep that relaxed, that area. Getting back to the head again. The further your head is out of alignment, the greater the weight, the greater the torque on the shoulders and the upper back. So, of course, eventually you're not going to be able to deal with it. And so the best thing is to try and just stand tall. Keep those muscles well trained. And just go to the crown of the head and release any tension there. We're going to be doing this more than once this session. We just start here and relax the forehead and the eyebrows, the eyes, the eyelashes. Relax the nose and the cheeks and this area around our mouth. Relax the jaw, the back of the tongue, the back of the head. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades just to drop down and relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And then just be aware of your breath. Notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. So you notice the air in the nostrils. It's a little bit cooler, the air coming in, and then when you're exhaling. And then just move down and notice the breath around the chest cavity. So as you inhale, you'll notice your diaphragm drops down and your lungs expand and your ribs expand. But maybe you don't realize, or you're not sensitive to the fact that this is a 360-degree movement. So you imagine the ribs are expanding as you're inhaling. The lungs are expanding and the back as well. So you might want to just notice if you're breathing. If you've got something against your back right now, you can just imagine you're breathing into that surface. And then as you exhale, diaphragm rises up. Everything kind of comes back in, contracts, comes back to normal. But it doesn't stay there long. You breathe, take another breath. So breath is really, really important. We have this very intimate relationship with our breath. We can use our breath, if we know how to, as a means to sort of calm ourselves down, to become more focused. So there will be a meditation on breath today as well. So now also to become aware of any sound in your environment. So the best thing we can do almost is like what Shayla did, was she asked the children that were making a lot of noise in her house in our last session, our last puja, to go. But if you don't have any control over your environment, you just have to allow the sound to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And just notice at what point your mind departs, what emotions there are around it: irritation, gosh, I wish this would finish, aversion. And there also may be other distractions in your environment, such as smells, cooking, someone's cooking something. Perhaps you have pets wandering around. Maybe you have notifications coming across your screen. So just allow all of that to be there. In about an hour or so, you'll be able to deal with it. And then, I think because this is a Tibetan Buddhist center, let's bring to mind, we'll just do a little equanimity meditation before we start. So just bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones. These are people that you hold very dear to your heart, your strangers. and the ones you have aversion for. And you think that all of these people, they're equal. They're just like you and me, and that they want to be happy and they don't want to suffer. The thing that's really extraordinary, even the ones we don't like, is this capacity for a Buddha mind. Everybody has it. Sometimes it's hard to imagine. It's there somewhere. Certainly, the mother of a person that you don't like sees their brilliance, even if you don't. So, we'll do this meditation today for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So, as we talked about before, we're using this natural ability of the mind to stay focused. So mindfulness kind of allows our mind and our attention to be engaged with a familiar object without losing kind of contact, without being distracted somewhere else. And the strength of the connection between our mindfulness and its object kind of depends on the degree of familiarity, associations we have built up in relation to it. And the more familiar we are with an object, the stronger the association, emotional, that we've had with it. So your house, for example, if you've lived there for a while, you probably know everything about that house. You can picture it in your mind. You're very familiar. You could do a mindfulness meditation on your home. You probably have emotional connection there as well. So the stronger the connection, the stronger the familiarity, the better our mindfulness is able to keep that object in focus. So implication for our practice of mindfulness is to be careful, to take care in building up that familiarity and strong associations. So just constantly bringing our attention back to our chosen object of mindfulness, to the point where you're just kind of training yourself so that you kind of automatically go back there. So it can be, the effort of no effort, as my Tai Chi Chuan teachers say. You need to put some effort in, but it's not effortful. You're not forcing yourself. You're not asking yourself to conform. So, for example, the breath. You keep coming back to the breath. Keep coming back to the breath. And then soon you'd be meditating for a while and you keep this mantra, keep coming back to the breath, come back to the breath. Pretty sure if the breath is your focus of concentration and you keep telling yourself, keep coming back to the breath, pretty soon you will just keep coming back to the breath. So another natural ability that we have, that we all have, is introspection. So in this particular context, introspection works rather like a CIA agent, a spy, checking and monitoring how our mind and body are doing in our meditation, or how they're just doing generally. So this introspective awareness alerts us when our mind is being distracted away from the object of mindfulness. So you've been distracted away from your breath, or you've been distracted away from a visualization. And your mind goes, whoopsie, and you may have already kind of gone down 5 minutes of rumination on thinking about something else. But at some point, the mind reminds you, hey, you're supposed to be doing this now. And you come back. And the other thing is, it will alert you if you're being overwhelmed with dullness or drowsiness. And again, it might take a minute or two for you to realize that you're actually nodding off. But this introspection enables us to return our attention again and again to the object of our meditation, our concentration. And then you just strengthen, if you keep doing this repeatedly, you strengthen your mindfulness. And the stronger the concentration, the stronger the mindfulness, the easier it is to notice, when you deviate off, when you're going off on the wrong path. Because there's a great contrast between being focused and attentive to the object of concentration and going off somewhere else. And this means the strength of introspection increases in step with that of the mindfulness. You're just increasing your awareness about yourself, about your meditation. And in the process, you're going to become much more present. So this is how these qualities of introspection and mindfulness, they'll support each other. So now we're going to do this body scan meditation. But before we do, I would like to just check in with everybody and see how you're doing. Anybody have anything you want to share or say? Any questions? No, not so far. We can just keep going. All right. So this is the body scan meditation. So last week we did this, mindfulness by touch, and then we did a second one, body scan. And so in this course, they repeat the last meditation in the first part of the session. So settle back into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Align your spine. And we're just going to return our attention to our own body so we can be in touch with the sensations there in order to sort of settle into the meditation. So we'll start back up at the crown and notice the sensations right at the top of the crown there. Maybe there's some tingling, perhaps pressure a little bit, maybe warmth, maybe coolness, maybe nothing at all. That's fine too. And move down to your face and notice the sensations there. And are you tensing up any of the facial muscles? Those around the forehead, around the eyes or the jaw. So just for a moment, go back and release any tension in the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the jaw, the back of the tongue. Relax your temples. And can you relax these muscles and let in a different feeling, one of softness and ease and comfort into your face? So you can, invite your attention to come back to your body, to the neck and the throat, and just notice the sensations there. So we'll just breathe. Each body part we'll get to, we can just breathe a couple of breaths in between each. Just allow your attention to focus on your neck and your throat. And move now your attention down to your shoulders, And how are your shoulders feeling today? Maybe there's some discomfort there. Can you simply just acknowledge the feeling of discomfort, maybe, and don't feel you need to change it immediately for the better? Just let it be. Of course, don't be in agony. Now, imagine your attention is flowing down both arms at the same time. So it's almost like you have to use your sort of mental peripheral vision. Mental peripheral vision. So there's just like very subtle sensations in your upper arms, both your elbows, the forearms, and finally your hands. So notice the sensations in the palms. And if your hands are right hand nestled in the left, you're going to feel each palm, each hand in the right hand in the palm of the left. What can you feel in your fingers? And having activated all these sensations into our awareness, you just rest both of your arms on their physical support and release the weight into gravity, into the support, onto your, if they're on your legs, release the weight into your quads, your thighs. Release the weight into the arms of a chair if that's where you're sitting. Now, come back to your chest area, to your heart center. What is there? What can you feel? Do you feel the breath and maybe your heart beating? Maybe there are other sensations. Just allow all your attention to focus on the heart area. And as you're noticing your natural exhale, just take this opportunity to release, allowing anything unhelpful or unwanted to somehow flow away with the out breath. So as you exhale, just imagine you're exhaling anything you want to release, anything that's unhelpful or unwanted. So now coming back to your body, allow your attention to go lower and maybe also in a little bit till you in your around your abdomen. And rest your attention inside your body at the level of your navel. So maybe 2 inches in around the navel area. And just feel the sensations there. Maybe there's no sensation. And then go down to the base of the spine. And just rest your attention on the tip of your tailbone, your coccyx. So what are the sensations around that area? You can feel some pressure. And feel the weight of your pelvis on its physical support. See if you can release that weight so you can rest comfortably there. The pelvis can rest comfortably there on the seat. So now allowing your attention to flow down both legs at the same time. Notice the sensations at your hip joints, the quads, the upper legs, thighs, the backs of your thighs, the hamstrings, and your knees. They go down past the lower leg and finally arrive at your feet. And just notice the sensations of the soles of the feet, just like we did at the beginning, and the top of the feet and your toes. Maybe there's, you notice the temperature. Maybe you notice the texture of any material that your feet are resting on. The weight, the pressure of the feet on the floor. What do you notice in your toes? And having activated all these sensations into your awareness, can you rest both legs on the ground and release their weight to gravity? So both legs into your feet. Can you release the weight of your legs? So for 5 minutes, we'll just rest our body in this posture and allow it to settle down and be comfortable there. And rest your attention here with your body, the sensations in the body, and the breath. And every time you notice an out breath, use it as an opportunity to deepen this sense of release, of letting go. Just releasing anything unhelpful, anything unwanted. You can just release yourself deeper into the here and now, into your meditation. If you notice the mind is traveling and wandering off, just bring it back to the breath. Everybody you can relax. And we're going to talk a little bit about distractions now. And I'm wondering if anyone would please share what distractions are, kind of what distracts you when you're meditating? What do you notice is distracting? Why are you all so quiet? Robbie,
I think about I guess getting to the end a lot.
the end
Kind
of
of
the
like
meditation? Like when's it going
yeah,
to finish?
sometimes like yeah, like the whole process. But I want to be there. I don't know why. I think that's just like an old habit, you know. So I think about okay, I'm almost like trying to just stay in there, like stay with it though. It's like a kind of
Yeah.
like a balanced distraction. Like I'm distracted, like getting pulled one way, but trying to go back again, like focus on my object a lot.
So it's mainly your thoughts. Actually, someone just put up a note saying it's their Mary put up this note saying it's her thoughts.
You know?
So what thoughts? So Robbie, your thoughts are mainly when am I going to end? Let's stay focused, but when will I be finished?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. And Mary's your thoughts. What thoughts in particular, Mary? You can put it in the chat if you can't unmute. Well, there you are.
I think mainly things I'm worried about, or I'm a teacher, so students I'm
Oh,
concerned about, or children,
okay.
family I'm concerned, all my concerns.
How old are the children you're working with?
Currently I'm in an eighth grade.
Oh, is that elementary school?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that a difficult age?
yeah.
Okay.
But it's great also. They're, I like high school, I think probably better,
Yeah, that's
but
fantastic.
yeah,
Thank you so much for teaching.
yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Um, so mainly you get distracted by the people that you're working with and for and certain situations. And I think too, when you're working with people, this is, of course, it's a natural thing. If you actually care about the people that you're working with, of course, you're going to think about them and things will pop into your mind as should I have said that? Can I do this? How's the best way to da 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 da? Yeah. So it's almost like we need to find strategies to deal with those thoughts. It's almost like we have to discipline those thoughts to say like, well, I can think about that in an hour, a half an hour's time, or in 5 minutes. like you can give yourself a time limit. Like if you're doing a 5-minute meditation and the minute you sit down, all those little faces come to your mind and you start thinking about, lesson plan or, some concern about a child or a family, for your own sanity, and for your own survival and for their benefit, you can say to yourself, okay, well, I can get back to this in 5 minutes' time. The other thing that I think might be helpful is to write those concerns down on a piece of paper. Then it's almost like you're offering it to the paper away from your brain. You don't have to hold it all in there. And this doesn't mean you don't care. It just means it's a self-preservation. And then as a teacher, you must be very busy. So it's amazing that you've come here to give up an hour and a half of your time. So anyway, thank you for coming. So I hope that's a little bit helpful, because we are going to have a lot of stories running through our head as well. I might do a little technique about dealing with thoughts in a minute. We can do some 9-round breathing and dealing with thoughts too. Somebody said something else. Who was it? Just saw something else. Oh, Shayla, your body needs to move. Things you need to do later. So yours is physical as well. You need to shift your body. So one of the things that happens, I think, with the great meditators is their body gets so subtle, their mind gets so subtle that even the tiniest movement can disturb their meditation. So they try to stay as still as possible, because it can be a distraction. But for us also too, you remember we're getting older. So as we get older, the body doesn't like sitting in one place for too long because there's kind of aches and pains and stuff. So you have to just bear with it. If you need to move, move. But it's like it sort of says in that meditation, can you allow the discomfort to be there for a minute or so? Do you have to move straight away? So maybe you could ask yourself that question, do I need to move immediately? And then thinking about things that you've got to do later, I'm assuming that you've organized your time so that you can do things later. Oh, you're not? Okay, anyway. So what I've started doing, because I have all these things that I have to do later in my head, so I have a little tiny whiteboard over there, and I write those things down on that whiteboard, and then I wipe them off when they're done. And I feel like I've given my all things to do later to that whiteboard. I'm so happy it's over there because now I don't have to think about it. So I put it somewhere else.
That's a great idea.
I'm going to get a bigger whiteboard because it's filling up. It's not very big, that one. I need more. I need more space on that whiteboard. Anyway. Okay, Anthony, you wanted to say something. Anthony.
Yeah, just with the thoughts. Well, I guess the question with the movement. I mean, it's okay to move a little bit, right? I mean, if you need to move, just move.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my thoughts tend to, I'll go to the things that are kind of immediate and more in the forefront of my thoughts, whether it's a person or work or an activity. But I can, kind of get back focused, but I catch myself kind of just off in left field sometimes, like things that I'm not even really aware of kind of coming up, which is surprising. And then sometimes feelings associated with that as well.
That's great awareness, though, don't you think? I mean, it it tells me that you're kind of got layers there, that you're kind of like peeling off the onion in a way. And
Yeah.
sometimes we don't like surprises, really. So it might be a good idea to have an awareness about what's in your mind so it doesn't come as a surprise later. And Venerable Rabina Corton always uses this analogy of your car driving down the highway. You don't worry about the brakes when you're going 80 miles an hour. You need to be worrying about that before you get on the highway. Um, and it sounds like, yeah, I mean, this happens to me as well. I think maybe other people as well. You're sitting there meditating long enough, still enough, things are coming up, and then you realize, oh, yeah. And sometimes it takes a while. Like you could be halfway between here and next town before driving in the car before you realize you've gone off on some story. And it's like, oh, so reel that in. Hello, puppy. Does anyone else have anything they want to share? Lakme, did you want to say something?
Um, yeah, I mean, I keep drifting off, and then, like you said, I'm halfway down to another town, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm supposed to be here. And then I come back to my breath because I think that's like you said, it's the easiest place to come to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you're talking about thoughts and negative thoughts. You said you're going to go there. I have a lot of negative thoughts, not specifically um,
Mm.
within meditation, but even when I was about to wake up in the morning, my mind goes
Yeah.
scatters all over,
Yeah.
overthinking, hyperactive. I don't know how to calm myself.
I know that one. And okay, let's think about that. There are, and this is outside of the mindfulness meditation, there are techniques that you can use when you wake up and you're scattered all over the place like that. One of them, actually, this was taught to me by my chiropractor. You you take each hand over the opposite and you just kind of go down your arms like this. It's almost like you're comforting a child. It's like, calm down. And you can do this. And apparently, this is very calming. I find it calming. Anyway, so that's one thing. The other thing is you can just kind of tap, maybe it's just yourself around your. I haven't actually done the training on this, but you can just tap yourself around your forehead, just around your forehead. This isn't going to do you any harm at all. But you're disrupting the thoughts
Oh,
by doing this. And you may find already it's kind of interesting. So you're actually disrupting the kind of the negative thought patterns. The other thing to do is apparently to hum. While you're humming, you cannot really think very well. So when you're humming, you can't really you can't hum and be anxious at the same time, is what I understand. So you can try this one. You can
yes.
hum. You can try this one. So these are just little sort of self-help techniques that you can use when the mind's decided it's going off and you cannot bring it back under control. You might have to do something else, like go outside, go for a walk, or turn and face another direction. Or, yeah, you have to, yes. But I do completely understand the overthinking thing. And I also understand the waking up and the mind being everywhere. So, of course, in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, the first thing we're supposed to say when we wake up in the morning is, how amazing I didn't die in the night. That's the first thing we're taught to say. How amazing I didn't die. Because actually, you know what? People actually do die in the night. And you probably heard about it. So first of all, you wake up with absolute amazement that your body got you through the night. That's the first thing. And then you kind of get out of bed and start doing mantras and prayers and all this kind of stuff. So if any of you would like to learn any mantra in this class, I'm happy to go through that. Because even if you just get out of bed and start, Om Mani Padme Hum, that's just a very simple mantra. And again, mantra means mind protection. So you can't, while you're reciting Om Mani Padme Hum, you can have a little mala and do that. It's also another way to distract the mind away. But the thing that we have to do is remember that we have all these tools in our toolbox, and sometimes we just get so wrapped up in our obsessive thinking or our overthinking or our distraction that we forget to use them. And sometimes it's useful to have a friend to sort of remind us, hey, you're overthinking right now. Reel it back in. And maybe you have to be your own friend in that way. If you don't have a friend, you can ask, can you just give me a tap on the shoulder when I'm overthinking? So you might need to call for outside help for that one. But anyway, thank you for sharing. That's really useful. Okay. Anybody else? Anyone else? Anything? And we might do, I think I'd like to do some 9-round breathing, which is also this meditation. If you find you're waking up and your mind is everywhere, I would strongly recommend that you do this one. But we might look at a little bit of, just checking the mind. So just go back to your meditation posture and settle your body back down. Bringing your attention back to the breath. Just being aware of your, environment, your potential distractions, whether it's your own body, whether it's external sound. And then just come back to the mind and notice what's arising right now. So, we've been sitting here maybe almost an hour. So we've been sort of meditating, thinking about meditation. So you might be feeling a little more settled than your normal everyday walking around. Now just notice what thoughts are arising and just, which thoughts maybe are useful. Maybe there's some thoughts in there that don't particularly serve you. And then just be aware of your stories. So we create all these like mini documentaries we have going on in our mind about things that we have no idea. Maybe it's not happen. Maybe we're making up stories about something we think is happening. Maybe we're making up stories about something that might or might not happen in the future. And things change all the time. We're all old enough to experience that. So, when you notice you've run off into some kind of mini documentary, fictional documentary, just reel it back in, bring the mind back to the breath. And then really try hard not to judge your thoughts. So not to have opinions. Just be aware of where you're at, because you only can be where you're at the time that you're at. You can't, so just totally fine. If you're at a place, if you're trying to meditate, you're at a place where you're a bit distracted, it's okay. I'm distracted today. I'm just going to do the best I can. So then you can, so say you got some of these negative thoughts, or maybe you're overthinking. I think it's very common. Everybody overthinks. Well, many people do. So you can just maybe pack up all those little thoughts. Maybe pack them up, fold them up nicely and put them in a little suitcase maybe. and shut that suitcase. And then perhaps you can put it on an imaginary aeroplane and send it off. Of course, those thoughts are still going to be there, but you have this, there's a sense of being in control by putting your thoughts. You can also put them on a nice white fluffy cloud and just allow that cloud to float away. So now we'll do this 9-round breathing. It's called, and I'm going to be doing it the way Lama Yeshe did it. And it's another name for it is called dispelling the airs. So you take this front part of your right index finger, and just place it on the left nostril. So I'm sitting opposite to you, and you breathe in through the right nostril. And imagine you're breathing in light, blissful, radiant white light. And then just with the back of the index finger, just very gently block that right nostril and exhale through the left all of your dissatisfaction, unhappiness with yourself, sort of like not feeling like you're good enough, and all your unhealthy attachment energy. So breathe that out as thick, black, yucky smoke, and then breathe in through the right, light. Nice big breath. Pause and then exhale through the left, all of your dissatisfaction, unhealthy attachment. And that leaves you as thick, black, yucky smoke, and it doesn't pollute you. You don't breathe it back in, it just goes. And so breathing in again, light through the right. Nice big breath. Expand your ribs and lungs and exhale through the left, all your attachment energy. Then you change hands. So we have some right brain, left brain cross patterning going on here too. So you breathe in through the left now, light. Pause. Exhale through the right. This time all of your anger, bitterness and grudges and jealousy, depression, anxiety. Not anxiety, depression. Depression is like internalized anger. So just breathe that out as thick, black, yucky smoke. Then breathe in light through the left. Pause, exhale through the right, all of your anger. Breathe in through the left, light. Pause, exhale through the right, all of your anger energy. Now breathing in through both nostrils, light. Pause and exhale what you understand ignorance to be. So it could be just not knowing how to get from A to B without a map. It could also be not knowing really how things actually exist. In the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, as we're in a Tibetan Buddhist center right now, it's actually being ignorant of karma, this natural law of cause and effect, and then also being ignorant of, again, how things exist. So breathing in through both nostrils, light. Pause, exhale, all of your ignorance energy. Thick black yucky smoke disappears. And breathe in one more time, light. Pause and exhale all of your ignorance energy. And we start again, breathing in through the right, light. Pause, exhale through the left, all of your unhealthy attachment and dissatisfaction. And repeat, breathing in through the right, light. Pause, exhale through the left, all of your dissatisfaction energy. And breathing in through the right, light. Pause, exhale through the left, all of your dissatisfaction. And breathing in through the left, light. Pause. Exhale through the right, all of your anger. Breathing in through the left, light. Pause. Exhale through the right, all of your anger. One more time, breathing in through the left, light. Pause. Exhale all of your anger. Now breathing in through both nostrils, light. Pause and exhale all of your ignorance energy. And just imagine you're cleaning the dust off the mirror of your wisdom. Breathe out and breathe in, light. Pause and exhale all of your ignorance. What it can be whatever you understand ignorance to be as well. And then one more time, light, breathing in. Pause and then exhale all of your ignorance energy. So in Tibetan Buddhism, this tradition, they talk about these are the three poisons: attachment, anger, ignorance. So breathing in again, it's 3 rounds. So the last set, breathing in light through the right. Pause, exhale through the left, all of your unhealthy attachment and dissatisfaction. Breathing in light through the right. Pause, exhale through the left, all your unhealthy attachment and dissatisfaction energy. Breathing in through the right, light. Pause, exhale all of your dissatisfaction. Now breathing in through the left, light. Pause, exhale through the right, all of your anger. Breathing in through the left, light. Pause, exhale through the right, all of your anger, bitterness and grudges. Just kind of get rid of all that stuff. And one more time, breathing in light. Pause, exhale all of your anger. Breathe in through both nostrils, light. Pause and exhale all of your ignorance. So, ignorance leads to confusion. So you want to have a nice, clear mind when you meditate. So breathing in again, light. And then exhale all of your ignorance energy. And breathing in light. And pause and exhale all of your ignorance. So now just settle back into meditation. We'll meditate for, 2 or 3 minutes. And just see where you're at now. So the mind rides on the wind, the airs, in the central channel, in the body. So if you're all upset about things, if your mind is scattered, it's a bit disturbing, as everybody has expressed. So in this meditation, you're really trying to get the wind under control. You're dispelling all the negativities, all the negative thoughts. Just kind of calming everything down. So another thing to remember when you're meditating is maybe just have your lips as if you're about to break into a smile. So the corners of your mouth might be just ever so slightly turned upwards. And you'll notice it kind of lifts the mind a little bit when you do that. Everyone just relax for a moment. I just want to know how that was for people. How did it change anything for anyone? Go ahead, like me, if you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful. I felt very light.
Ah, excellent.
I
That's
felt
great.
very light. I felt I was literally floating.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a lot that dispensed out of
Oh,
me.
yeah, great. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
my pleasure. So this meditation will be online, so you can go to the part. We're actually at an hour and 6 minutes in. So you'll find it around about an hour in if you wanted to do it again, or maybe you can just remember how to do it yourself. But okay, thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi. Anybody else have anything they want to share? No, and welcome, Phyllis. And we got half an hour left, Phyllis. So
Thank you.
thank you for joining.
Yeah. I
All right.
can do the video for a little bit.
Never mind. It's good to see you. Okay, so let's get back to just a little bit more talk about distraction and dullness. So, of course, there's distraction, which everyone's talked about. No one really talked about dullness, because I think sometimes we think that when we're having a lovely meditation and we're just we're zoning out, that's meditation, but actually it might be feel good short term, but in fact it's pretty much leading to a dull mind. So, once we start paying attention to, once we start being mindful about what our mind is doing, you're just going to become more and more aware of exactly how distracted you are and how your attention is not staying on the object of your meditation. And so, they fall into two broad categories in this tradition. It's like distraction and then dullness. So dullness really refers to this loss of alertness and vividness of attention. And, you can feel drowsy and sleepy and spacing out, blanking out, disassociation, although that maybe has got a bit more of a psychological meaning. But, you're just kind of dark and foggy, maybe heavy. So like me, you said you felt a little bit lighter after doing the 9-round breathing. So when your mind is dull, you're going to be feeling a little bit heavier. You won't have much energy. The mind won't be feeling energetic, and it won't be clear or alert. And it's like a little bit difficult to engage with the object of meditation. So at the moment we're working with the breath. So you may notice also when you're meditating, you've got this kind of dullness happening too. Can also manifest as boredom. And then you might be finding, like Robbie was saying, you kind of wondering when it's going to finish. And then we have distraction. Well, distraction is when you're just moving your attention away from the object of mindfulness goes towards sounds, towards thoughts. And actually someone in another class mentioned that sometimes they look at Facebook in the middle of a meditation. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it's got so bad. But I bet part of that is because notifications come across people's screen. And so if you're allowing notifications across your iPad, your phone, or your computer, of course you're going to go, oh, what's that? Or what's that person? So immediately, you're doing it in the middle of like a meditation class or a Buddhist class, and you've got something much more interesting coming across your screen, or maybe something you should be shopping for. It's going to take your mind away because it's probably maybe a more interesting shiny object. So you have this excessive amount of energy in the mind that's preventing the attention from settling down and stabilizing on this object of mindfulness. So the most common type of distraction, which also contributes to our stress, is due to compulsive involuntary thinking, which everybody knows about. And sometimes, if you are, experiencing some post-traumatic things, you will be finding intrusive thoughts as well. But sometimes this compulsive involuntary thinking can also be quite intrusive. And this is just these many, many thoughts we have that capture our attention and keep it involved in matters in the past or in an imaginary future. And it's often accompanied by various emotions and emotional responses. And so you imagine you're creating this documentary in your mind and you're fully invested in it, and you're having all these emotions about something that may or may not happen. It's, if we were to write down everything we were thinking and all the emotions that were coming with it, you would read it back to yourself and go, oh, you're crazy. So, but don't think you're crazy, because you're not crazy. You're just the same as everyone else. So here is a moment where you can develop some compassion for yourself and others, because here at this point, you will recognize, gosh, I need to have some compassion myself around this and some patience. And then you also have compassion for other people because you're aware that everybody else is experiencing the same thing. So when we're working with dullness and distraction, first step is to become aware of what's there. And then the more you become aware of it, the more you become aware of it. And you have to be patient. And then you be also very aware of the reactions that you're having are affecting your body as well as your mind. So it's almost like we're creating a nightmare for ourselves sometimes. Sometimes you might feel disappointed because there's so much that feels a bit messy. But actually, it can be a sign of progress, in fact. So think of it as progress in your practice, because the more you're in touch with what's happening, the more you can deal with it and can take steps to remedy. So when you do a kind of a breath meditation, you're repeatedly and gently returning your attention to the sensations of the breath, sensations of the body. You can begin this process of weakening old habits of dullness and distraction. It does take a little bit of time. So we're going to do a breathing meditation before we close. We've got 15 minutes left. If I can squeeze it in that time. There's a couple of notes here. The mantras, they are not written anywhere. I would have to give them to you. But we can do Om Mani Padme Hum. We can do an Om Mani Padme Hum next time because I have to do the breath this time. If you're interested, it's the mantra of Chenrezig, and Chenrezig is the Compassion Buddha. So it's a beautiful one to do right now. And particularly, there's all kinds of weird things going on, very disturbing and weird things. So good to do Compassion Buddha. Okay, so I just want actually maybe just quickly, does anyone have anything they want to say besides the okay, so Rinson says when you're feeling fatigued, you have less control over the mind. I think we're all like that. And then if you repeat the mantra, it gets better. Yeah, I think probably when all of us are tired, we're less on guard. Okay. Anything anyone else wants to share before we do the breath meditation? Okay, let's go. Okay, so settle back into the meditation posture, just allowing your spine to be nice and long, aligning your shoulders over your hips. Just resting your hands or your arms on a physical support, just releasing the weight of your arms or your hands in the physical support or on your lap. Allow your shoulders to be relaxed. You can have your eyes closed, or perhaps you want to have your eyes just cracked open a little bit. Not too much. It's actually easier to meditate if it's dark or if your eyes are closed because there's less distraction. But some people say also if you have your eyes open slightly, the light helps to keep the mind a little brighter. So if your tendency is to be dull and sleepy, you might want to have the mind open, the eyes open a little bit. Just just turn your mind back to your body and just notice the sensations. If there's any tingling anywhere, maybe. Then notice the sensations of softness and ease and relaxation and comfortable feelings. Can you kind of welcome these feelings and allow yourselves to enjoy them while they are there? And perhaps there's some areas of tension or tightness or discomfort. Can you simply acknowledge these for the time being, not necessarily needing to change them for the better? Can you just let them be? Can you now check in with your face? Can you allow softness and relaxation there? Can you release any tension? So allow now this softening and relaxation to spread on its own to the rest of the body, helping our body to settle into meditation in its own time. And among all the sensations, the different bodily sensations, now focus on maybe just highlight those sensations associated with breathing. And you may notice those sensations around your nostrils, where you're feeling the air flowing in and out of the body. And when I did many years ago, I was doing Vipassana meditation with some Burmese teachers in Australia. They would teach us to focus on the base of the the nose. But some people say focus on the tip. Depends on how your nose is shaped, I think. So the air as you breathe in is a little cooler. The air you breathe out is a little warmer. Bring your attention now down to your chest cavity and just notice the movement of the chest expanding 360 degrees and then contracting as you exhale. And I know there's at least one person in here that likes to focus on the rising and the falling of the belly when they're breathing. So just rest your attention on one or a couple of these breath sensations. It's probably better if you start with one. Just allow yourself to fully experience your inhale and your exhale. Another way to calm the mind down is to equalize the inhale and the exhale. So you can inhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause for a moment. And then exhale 4, 3, 2, and 1. You might be able to inhale and exhale for 6 or 8. But if you keep the inhale and the exhale even, it does help to get grounded and to calm the mind. So rest your attention here with each breath, and each time you notice yourself breathing out, just use it as an opportunity to releasing anything unhelpful and unwanted. Just the way we breathe out to let go of the stale air in our lungs, the exchanged air. So another little thing you can do is when you're exhaling, you can very gently say this kind of guiding word to yourself, release, each time you notice your out-breath. And this is to remind you and to your body and your mind, it does not need to hold on to unnecessary tightness and contraction. So if anyone here does yoga, you may notice that some of the yoga teachers use breath to help you just kind of release some of the muscle tightness. And we also want to remind our mind that it can let go of thoughts, it can let go of memories, the mind can let go of fantasy, can let go of worry. All these things that preoccupy the mind. It can also release states of dullness and drowsiness. So you can also release your dullness and your drowsiness and allow that to float away with the out-breath. So you're not forcing anything or pushing anything away. It's just a very gentle release. So let's just try this for a couple of minutes. When you notice your attention is distracted somewhere else, or you're feeling drowsy, just simply invite your attention back to the breath, to the sensations of the breath, and release on the out breath. everyone, relax. So, does anyone have anything to share before I run off and have dinner before the Vajrasattva meditation? Who was that? Mary, did you want to say something? You Are you trying to unmute yourself or? Oh, there are people meeting in your house. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. You can write it in the chat. Okay, we can talk next week. Okay. Anybody else have anything they'd like to sort of say before we go? No, you're very welcome to unmute yourselves. Did you want to say something, Lakme? David? No? Okay. So let's just dedicate any insights that you may have had today from the meditation, just dedicate it to all these people of your life and all the sentient beings. So we have just like some kind of peaceful, happy, harmonious community. Okay, everyone. Lots of love. Very welcome to come to the next meditation, which is a purification practice. If you wish, I know there's a few of you that might be there. Lakme, you might be interested to come. I don't know. But anyway, everyone's welcome, and it's in half an hour. Okay. Thank you very much, Shayla. Thank you for yet another meditation that you've. She's been doing a lot of hosting today, and she has a child there. All right, everyone. Take care. Good night.
Thank
I
you,
will see
Angela.
some of you
Thank you.
next week. Okay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Good
much for your
night.
attention.